Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sergey, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys a walkthrough of how I added typography to my Jayden Daniels design. Everybody has their own style and unique workflow when it comes to typography and design. In this video I want to show you guys how I approach it. Hopefully you can gather some tips and tricks along the way and rethink your typography and your future graphics. My first tip would be creating a text hierarchy. So for example, adding Jayden Daniels' name, but I'm gonna do it in a kind of unique way. So I'm going to do his initials and do this one over here. So I'm just using this negative space on the left and right side of the graphic, add in text to kind of add another design element to that space so it looks a little less empty, but also keeps it somewhat clean. Lowercase for the rest of the name. I think I like maybe a little smaller, and then let's try something like this. Have that for the first name, and then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Rotating it 90 degrees just adds another element to your design. It's simple but effective in certain aspects. The one thing I want to keep in mind though is moving this behind some of the cutouts. Another tip I have for you guys actually when it comes to typography is just using your cutouts and your images to your advantage. We have the layer of text behind the cutout right now, but what I want to do is just separate this text a little bit from the cutout so that it doesn't feel like it's overlapped completely. It kind of just adds a cool outline effect. So I'll show you guys how to do that. We're gonna go down to, would be this one. So we have this one, and I'm going to hit Command and click on this image right here. And that selects our cutout right here. And now I'm gonna go down to the layer mask button right here and create a layer mask. That just created a mask on that, but now I want to do Command I to invert that mask. Now I have a masked out letter here with the cutout up and to the side a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Here. And go to my mask. Boom. Nudge that. Now that's separated the text a little bit from our design and helps it stand out a little bit still. I think some areas that we can take advantage with the design is there's this like a little pocket here for text and probably another area up here and up here. Create another layer, and Jayden Daniels is probably going to win Rookie of the Year, so I'm going to do Rookie of the Year as a abbreviation. Maybe try something here. Actually, I just had a cool idea. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Oops. Rotate it 90 degrees and throw that into the corner here. Instead of keeping it that gray tone, I'm going to go to my gradient overlay. I'm gonna keep it a little darker tone, and I think I like the look of that. Move it behind my color correction. Yeah, now it's standing out a little bit more. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a text box right here and bring the font size down to maybe 12. It's good for now, and I'm gonna make it white. So we have this. I'm just going to scrap the Wikipedia part of it. We're gonna do, I think that looks pretty good. And now to match it, on the other side we can do another text frame. Maybe do NFL offensive, and then Rookie of the Year. When you're adding text, remember to take advantage of the graphic and web area on Photoshop. This is where you're gonna do the majority of your text spacing and all that. So I'm going to select the entire text body, and this is what adjusts the text spacing vertically. So I'm going to go, we're at 36 font. I'm going to do 30 on the spacing. Yeah, that looks good. And so that just condensed it a little bit. I typed this in all caps. I actually want to go back and change that. I want to do maybe something like this, where we have a bolded line and then the bottom is more like a subheader. Actually, with this text over here, that looks pretty cool. It looks like a newspaper article almost. Another thing I can show you guys that is pretty cool with text is you can create text based off a shape. So we have a ellipse back here in the graphic. What you can do is you can take your type tool and click anywhere on the ellipse and start adding text to it, and it will create rounded text. So I'm just going to show you guys, for example. I don't know if I actually want to do it on this part of the graphic, but I'm just going to type in Jayden Daniels, and honestly I'm just going to copy that and just paste it a couple of times. And it's in white font, so it's not visible right now. But yeah, that's how you go about doing that. But what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this ellipse back here and bring it in the foreground. I'm not going to actually use the shape in the design, but what I want to do is bring this shape in front, and I think it would be cool. Let's do, for now, his name again, and I'm just going to copy that so I don't have to keep typing it. Make the font smaller, and then let's do like that. And maybe I'll make it white. And you see how adding text with different shapes can just add a little more dynamic techniques to your typography that usually you wouldn't think of before. So I'm gonna try duplicating this, something like this. And for this one, I'm going to do his name. And for this one, I'm going to make it black. And now we have most of our graphic completed as far as text. But one other thing I like to do sometimes is just add small elements to the top corners, because you see that sometimes with magazine designs or newspaper designs where they just take advantage of that space. We're gonna do a little text up here, and duplicate that. So we're gonna do his awards that he's going to have. The key to adding good typography is honestly just trying out different styles and looks as you're going. Never just add text and leave it as is. Make sure you really try everything, but I'm going to add, and this is a plugin on Envato Elements that you can download. It's Shadowify. Card shadows are really cool for text, so I'm just going to show you an example what it looks like. So here I just added one to the J. So I just added that shadow to the J. So what it did was it just created a new layer, and that's just my shadow layer. But the cool thing is I can still adjust any settings I want to. So speed is going to show like the length or distance kind of that shadow. And I'm just gonna raise opacity up a little bit. I'm gonna do card shadow on this layer. More of a taper. And now we have the ability to make our text white or any other color, and it's got that clean drop shadow with it. After the walkthrough, I did go back and add some finalizations to lighting, color correction, and other small text changes, so it doesn't look exactly how it looks in that design walkthrough that I showed you, but it's pretty close to how it looked. It's just some small details. I hope that you found that video helpful or inspiring in any sort of way. My main goal is to just leave you guys with more knowledge than what you started with. And I know that there's people coming from a lot of different design backgrounds, but hopefully there's a tip or trick that's helpful to you no matter what your design background is. If you guys are interested in seeing the full PSD to this video, the link to my Patreon will be in the description below. That will have the PSD to this design, where you guys can see every single layer that I added to this graphic. I appreciate you guys sitting through this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep creating, keep innovating, and I'll see you in the next video.